Our next use of SUMIFs is more complex. Namely, we are considering a logistics company who is transferring some goods. Our table has 1,000 rows, each row consisting of one transfer of goods. The first row takes goods from Seattle to Boston in the amount of 210. The second row takes it also from Seattle to Boston in the amount of 90. The third one from LA to Miami in the amount of 90. Now, what we want to know is, in this entire table, how many goods were, for instance, taken from, let's say, Seattle to Boston, all in all together. And for that we can also use SUMIFs. At first we will need to create some names here. So let's click on the table. Remember that Control-Shift* selected the entire table without the need to traverse until its end. And now let's do formulas, create from selection, top row. Left column is a wrong choice. And when we select the first column, we see up here that it's called source. Now our SUMIFs function is as follows. We write equals SUMIFs, and the thing that we're going to be summing is the amount. So it's the third column, amount, semicolon, and now what we're checking for is, at first, we have in the first column always the source, which was Seattle, Los Angeles, and in the second column we have always the destination. So at first we check for the source, which would have to be in this cell. It would have to be, let's at first write source, and the source would have to be Seattle, so let's click on F3. Okay. Now SUMIFs picks up everything that has the source Seattle. Now semicolon, and now we're checking for destination from the second column. So let's click on, or rather let's write destination and semicolon, and let's click on Boston. So destination has to be Boston. And if both these are okay, so this is a SUMIF with multiple conditions, if both these are okay, then it sums the amounts together. And the all in all amount taken from Seattle to Boston is 21,580. Now the next thing we want to do is use some dollar addresses here, because we want to copy this formula for the entire table, like this. So for Seattle, we need to fix the F column. Let's click on F4 key. So it's going to be $F3, which means that when we copy this formula up and down, Seattle will still be moving up and down. So when we copy it to the next row and next one after that. But when we copy it to left and right, Seattle will stay stuck. So it's $F3. And now we take G2, which is the destination Boston, and for that we will have to select with F4 key the second row. Remember that Boston can move to the left and right, to Miami, Houston, and Dallas, but it shouldn't move when we copy the formula down. It shouldn't move to the next row and the next one after that. So here it is, and this is one of the really most used or most typical dollar addresses, where we have like a header up there, and on the side we have another header, and on the side header we fix the column, on the upper header we fix the row. Okay, the result still is the same, but now we can copy it to one direction at a time, to the first column at first, and now to all the columns. And here it is. We can furthermore turn on the conditional formatting, which is home. We can use conditional formatting by selecting the table, clicking home, conditional formatting color scales, and here it is. It colors the more used routes in green and less used routes in red, to get a quick overview of what's going on in the table. We're going to return to this table shortly after the next exercise.